everybody, welcome back for another Vlogtober episode here on Planning with John. If you're new here, I'm John. Welcome. If you're back for another visit, thanks for stopping back. I didn't really have much happen today. Last night, after editing the video, which really didn't take much editing, I fell asleep on the couch. And I woke up with this little baby girl who's over here, laying on my back, and the puppy laying on my feet. So, of course, I woke up in an excruciating amount of pain because we just have a little IKEA couch. I propped something up on the iPad, and I don't even remember what I was watching. Turned it on, and then I just kind of rested my head on the arm, and there's a nice orange down pillow there, and phew, I was out for the count. So let's see. Today wasn't that exciting of a day. Sorry there's no face-to-face. I just am not feeling that today. I've got some gray stubble, and when it's stubble, it looks nasty. When it's a beard, it looks fine, but when it's gray stubble, it's not. I don't like it. So, it was the big, massive laundry day today, getting all of the towels and all of the husband's work clothes done, and his other clothes, and my clothes, and dishes, and it was, even though I did a lot of domestic stuff, I still feel the place is a mess. So that's what I'm hoping to do on today, Saturday, and on Sunday. We got the little baby girl here, Lila. We got her a new litter box, and it's one of those litter boxes that's kind of like encased in what looks like a piece of furniture, so that way she has her own privacy, so she doesn't feel like she's using the potty in the middle of the living room. And also, you know, we can she kind of has her own little corner of the room now. She'll have her new box, and her feeding area, and her cat tree, and one of the chairs that she loves to rest on. She's kind of given me those "please don't pet me" ears. And you can see the flip of the tail is she's not up for it. And I can read her, and I understand her. I feel her. She's my little baby girl. So I just needed to do a few things in my planner today. Let me pull up my little monthly tracker here for my no spend, and no spend, low spend. I started doing this no spend, low spend, gosh, 3-ish years ago, and it really wasn't to get myself down to spending nothing. I mean, that would be an excitement, but of course it's not going to be this month. But it's just so I could be conscious and aware of what I'm spending my money on. Is it going where I want it? Am I, not being wasteful with things? So that's kind of where that all started. And I don't know how, after this year, how I'm going to proceed into the next year. I'm vlogging. I didn't put any flute stuff in it because I was too busy, and this device that I record with wasn't charged when I was practicing. I didn't go to temple because I had a rehearsal at that time, but I did watch it since it was streamed. I did watch it after, in the replay. And today is the first day for us to start taking our temperature again. So we have to take it in the morning and in the evening, and it can't go above 100 point something, I don't know. Mine never does. My temperature tends to hover between 96 and 98. Which is interesting to know. You can see the little baby girls right here, of course, laying on my planner. Excuse me, baby, I want to turn the page. So, yeah, the laundromat was a crazy place to go to today. There were like 15 cars there, which was more than I've seen in a long time. And then what also kind of scared me and concerned me is, so I'm masked up, I take all of our laundry in, start putting it in the washers, putting the detergent, the what does the husband use for his work clothes? Those little power scent bead things, since he's dealing with frying. It's really funny. He's a vegetarian trying to be vegan, and one of his jobs is he has to fry chicken. He says it's one of the it's a hard thing to do every day because just the smell of it is just which I think is funny because I was like, garlic fried chicken sounds good to dinner tonight. And he's like, no, not in the house tonight. So I'm not having that. Actually, I ended up having a rehearsal, and afterwards I just grabbed a couple of tacos from Taco Bell. Not the most healthy thing in the world, but it was quick and it was cheap. But I was shocked. The only people that were wearing masks were myself and then the 2 employees that worked there. And then the few people that did have them down, they had them around their ears, but they were underneath their neck. What's the point of wearing a mask if... I think they do that just for a technicality. You can't kick me out. I'm wearing a mask. That's just that passive-aggressive bullshit that I just can't stand. Sorry. That's how I feel. But I had a rehearsal today because I'm going to be playing for one of the churches near the University of Tulsa, College Hill Presbyterian. I'm going to be playing for their service, which will air on Sunday. Because of social distancing, they pre-record the music, for the hymns and then all the special music. So I play there quite a bit because the choir director is one of my colleagues at the University of Tulsa. He's he is the choir director at the University of Tulsa and one of the voice teachers. Wonderful, wonderful tenor. So we're going to be doing some uplifting music. The organist said, hey, just bring anything you want. And so I grabbed these books that I have by, there was this group in the 90s called Secret Garden. And so I have some of their music because I was asked to play a wedding service outdoors, arranged for flute, harp, and some other strings, and so I bought the music and arranged it, and so I have the originals, which are for a keyboard instrument and flute, or actually I think it's really violin because the lady in the group was a violinist, and so we're going to be playing some pieces from their first album called Songs from a Secret Garden, but I want to show you something I got the other day. And I got it because of, the times we're living in. So, when we blow on the flute, I've got a fife nearby. This is just a little fife, a metal fife. When we blow on the flute or fife, we are blowing air across and into the flute. And what ends up happening is, if we're lucky, half of the air we're blowing gets in there. And then the rest of the air just goes out. So there's a concern with flute players is that, we're just blowing all of the aerosols. And if a person is, a contagion carrier, that you're just blowing all of those germs throughout the audience, and throughout your musicians. So there's this device, and it's called the Wind Defender, and it's it originally was created for marching bands, because when we're playing the flute and we're blowing our air across the hole and in the hole this way, we are blowing with quite a bit of force. But if you're outside for a marching band and wind comes this way, the first thing that will happen is it will force the air you're going this way back towards you, and you won't have any sound. And so it was originally created to be a block. When you put it in, it was originally meant to be a block. So see how it creates this little block. You know, your mouth goes here, and it creates this block. So if wind is blowing this way, it won't affect your embouchure, and it won't affect how you're sending the air. Now, the same thing is, you will see there are these tiny little holes up here, but all of the wind and air that we're blowing goes in here. And something that some people are also doing is, because of the end of the flute, or in this instance the fife, what they're doing is they're taking the bag that it comes in, and they're putting that at the end of the flute to collect any of the other wind vapors. So that way you're protecting any of your fellow musicians or audience members. And since we've played a few outdoor concerts, and normally during the summers, one of the summer bands I play with, we do outdoor concerts, and this might be a nice thing to have for that. But I'm going to use it tomorrow, because it's the first performance after, I mean, we rehearsed today for about an hour, those 3 or 4 songs we're playing. I'm going to use it tomorrow because, you know, the organist is in his, probably mid to late 60s. And we're going to have plexiglass between us, and we're going to be, you know, distanced, you know, about 6 to 9 feet. I would feel more comfortable with the 9 feet. And also it'll get me further away from the camera, so I won't look as round. But yeah, I just thought I would show this. It's very interesting. It has a, this is the fancy box that it came in. They say it shields the lip plate, reduces the negative effects of ambient winds on flutes. It creates a personal monitor by reflecting the sound back to the player's ears. It's essential for marching band or outdoor performances. It's lightweight and comfortable, installs quickly and securely. Vented design enhances projection and eliminates condensation and blowback. Rotate outward under normal conditions or inward for most wind protection. So, yeah, giving it a try, and I actually like it. I didn't notice it affecting my tone at all that much. I'll put my little fife away. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It was kind of interesting to try. I've only had it for a few days, and I kind of like it. So some people have commented in videos, or even sent me messages on Instagram, which I find kind of interesting. Like, there'll be a follower of me on YouTube and then follow me on Instagram, but the Instagram is like an account that I've never seen before. But they commented on my planning style changing and my journal style changing. I don't know how how to answer this. It can be a long answer, especially when you think of journal style. Now, my planning style hasn't changed at all. If you look at my any of my old videos from the last 5 years or so here on YouTube, I always have a monthly calendar, which I'll have to put my little YouTube here for this video. I always have a monthly calendar. I always have a weekly calendar. And sometimes I have a daily, or I have a no baby, or I have a dot grid that I'll, put to-do tasks on, or a grid that I'll put those on. So my planning style hasn't changed at all. If you look at any of my videos, it's always the same. Monthly calendar, weekly calendar, daily, or a grid or a dot grid. That has always been consistent because that's what I need. That's what I know I need. I always like having a year advance. Or in the past, I've needed to have a year in advance because of my concert schedule. All of that's thrown out the window, so I really don't need this in here right now, but I printed it, cut it, and just decided to put it in because I like it and it looks nice. But commenting on my journaling style, when I first started journaling, Lila's she jumped, and of course she had to go the most convoluted way. I'm so sorry about that. She had to jump where the tripod was, not where this path where there's a chair for her to jump down, and she had to go the most complicated route. My journaling system has been a lot of different things, a lot of different times. Before I was like journaling again, I was using a Midori Traveler's Notebook insert. I was using the vertical, weekly, and I was just journaling a little bit of each day and sprinkling in some of the things that I had done that day, or any important things that had happened in the world that day. Well, the last 4 years, I stopped doing that stuff because it was just insanity, and I didn't want to have that in my planner or in my journal. I would comment on a few little things, but I didn't want my journaling to be overtaken by who. And I just realized I didn't keep writing vlog. I think I used a Pentel Energel for these 2 pages. I vlogged all of these days, and I wanted to keep that going. Ooh, sorry, that's really shiny, I know. So I did one there, and we're right here. So yes, my journaling has changed a bit. I've taken a little break from the arting, and one of the reasons why I did take a break from the arting is I wanted everything that I'm doing and that I'm using to be something that I am 100% attracted to, or that I want. And I had so many art supplies that it wasn't FOMO while I got them. I was really intrigued by them. But, even when I was in art classes in junior high and high school, I hated when we had to do acrylic paints. I hated when we had to do clay. I just didn't have fun with that. When we were doing watercolors, when we were doing pencils and markers, that stuff I loved. But when we were doing all of those other things, I was always like, it takes too long for the medium to dry or whatever, you know, and so I wanted to kind of take a little break from that. Now one thing is my teaching schedule changed. So, you know, I didn't have, and I still don't have as much time as I would want to do to have my art, to do art. And, you know, what I discovered in myself is, like, this is the Jamesburg. This is, what's her name? Barton. Cheyenne Barton. This is Mindy Lacefield. Bailey. I know I've got some Allie Brown in here somewhere. Here's some Mindy Lacefield, and this is Odd Girl Journals. One thing that I know is that I can look at something that someone has done and I can replicate it, you know, and do a really good job of replicating it. And I think that's because when I was a kid, I loved cartoons. I mean, I still love cartoons. I still watch cartoons. Usually if we're having dinner, we might have like Family Guy or, I don't know, something, American Dad or Bob's Burgers or something on in the background. I love cartoons. I've got all of the Simpsons that are on DVD. I have all of the seasons on DVD. I'm sad that they're not releasing them on DVD anymore because of their agreement they have with Hulu. But also, I have a feeling they weren't probably selling, because do people still buy DVDs? I mean, the last time I bought a DVD was a year ago, and it's because Hocus Pocus was on sale for like $3.99. I mean, who doesn't buy that? But now I'm wanting to watch it, and I have no idea where it is. So that's let me know I have way too many things. But and I think it's because I loved animation so much. Is, you know, I would watch the Smurfs, I would watch the Snorks, I would watch Strawberry Shortcake, I'd watch the Flintstones, I'd watch the Jetsons, and I would, you know, draw out the characters. Snoopy, Charlie Brown, I'd draw out the characters myself. And again, it was just replicating what I saw, not really tapping in and doing something that is truly me. And, you know, I was taking wonderful, Mindy Lacefield does wonderful classes. Some of her classes have actually really taught me to, she is so good about like the imperfect lines and texture and the messiness in the good way, not the messiness and like, oh, that's crap, but messy and like, you know, the amazing blend that you can get. She has so many videos on YouTube. She has a wonderful Patreon that I was a member of for quite a while. And I was so good at mimicking and copying someone else's style that I kind of wanted to just like stop, take a break. Also, school started again, and with it being online, my duties have changed, and my amount of time has changed. So I you know, feel I haven't had the time that I wanted to. So with, you know, some concerts and some other projects that I'm working on, you know, I just I decided to put the art away for a little bit. And something that I've always tried is I've always tried for my planner to be my planner. It'll always end up, you know, oops, a doodle and, you know, and then I've got like washi and stuff everywhere. And so something that I started to do was when I knew that this size was coming, and I knew that this it was going to be this color, I wanted to create something fall for it. So like, here's one of my photos that I took. One of the best places to go to get photos of little pumpkins and gourds, Trader Joe's. I just was there with the husband 3 days ago, and just walked in and snapped a bunch of photos of the pumpkins and gourds they have there. So that was one. Where's the other? I think it's back here. In between this one, another photo I took at Trader Joe's. So I didn't even have to buy the gourds or the pumpkins. And I think I have another somewhere. Not that. Is it by the YouTube? It's the all orange one that's really pretty. I don't know. Oh well. I have another one that I'm sure you've all seen. Oh, I think I have it in front of November. No. Or it's in front of October. There it is. I just was starting to run out of ink, so it didn't print very well. That was from a few weeks ago. So I knew that this was coming, and so I wanted to create some inserts. And so I've always, or like dashboard type things, I've always loved using my computer for things. So I designed this one, and then I was like, well, if I can do an October one, let's do a November one. And then I did this beautiful November one. And it's, you know, being creative, but in a different way. And then I made myself this beautiful Hanukkah one. You can see the Hanukkah and the lovely sweets, the Star of David, presents, because we get presents for 9 magical nights. There's the, if you know that song, you know, tell me who sang it. Magical Nights. There's the little dreidel. There's the Torah. Yeah. Cute little, that is gelt, is what we call it. Gelt. They're like, they look like gold coins, but they're full of, and sometimes they're silver. You get silver and gold, but they're filled with chocolate. And one of the best places to get gelt is at Fannie Mae Chocolatier in the Chicago area. It is, the chocolate is just divine in that. I'm not much of a chocolate person, but Fannie Mae chocolate or their mint meltaways, my favorite. But, you know, so I've been, you know, designing those and designing these type of dashboards and my minimal ones. And like this, do I have any others in here? No, all the others are the same one with the different words in them. So I've been using my creativity a little bit differently, you know, being able to doodle florals on the iPad with my iPen pencil thing. You know, having fun with that. Also, I always have this, you know, trying to be minimal. You know, there's always all of these supplies, and I mean, if you look in here, that's a lot of paper and a lot of plastic. You know, it is. Or leather, you know, from the animal hide. I've been enjoying using the iPad for my creative outlet. Number one, it doesn't take up a lot of space. I can just leave it plugged in, you know, charging, and can use it anywhere without having to bring water and brushes and stuff like that. And since I started doing a lot of that stuff this summer, my journaling, like, when did I start this one? June 13th. All I was doing was putting some stickers and washi down and mainly just writing a couple of pages a day. Just a couple of pages. Getting to use some washi. Actually using the stuff that I have. These are some things that I did a while ago that looked like horrible. And when I got some new Ali washi tape. These are some James Burke things from his very first, what was that called? Patreon playtest, I think. And then like I colored on them with glitter pens and metallic pens and, you know, just, you know, silliness like that. And I'm actually enjoying it because journaling doesn't have to be this big, huge hullabadoo, you know, like here I just put in some cute little scratch and sniff stickers, some little washi samples, Rila Kuma, one of my favorite little bear dudes, you know, just a little, you know, a little bit of writing, not a lot of stickers, not a lot of much. I mean, look at that. I used an MT washi, a stencil, and a Tombow in my yellow ochre. You know, just some cute little stickers, My Little Pony. You know, blue MT washi, a blue black pen, and blue Tombow. That's, you know, just simple stuff. And I think that's okay, because everyone's planning style will change. Everyone's journaling style will change. There's no right way to do it. There's no, you know, there's no right, there's no wrong. There's just doing it. And, I mean, this year I haven't, it's been a rough year, I think, for so many people. I mean, you know, there was a good 4 or 5 months where both the husband and I were unemployed due to everything for me getting canceled and for, you know, everything getting canceled. And so I haven't wanted to journal as much because of that fact. And, you know, that's okay too. Just like with everything, there's waves, there's cycles. Sometimes we want to journal, sometimes we don't want to journal, sometimes we want to art, sometimes we don't want to art, and I'm just letting that be. I'm not, like, I started journaling in here, when was that? October 18th. And the previous day was the 19th. Now I've done my little daily things in here, but I haven't like journaled in over a month. And now it's been longer. I started and just didn't finish. And you know, I'm not letting that beat me up. I'm not letting that, you know, set a precedent. Like, this will be here for me when I'm ready for it. Yeah, I guess that's, you know, the take is, you know, there's cycles, there's I guess I call them waves. You know, sometimes you ride the wave and you've got the inspiration, and then, you know, then there's time to think, to question, to try, and then to ride the next wave. I think that's, you know, what it is being a classical musician. In a normal year, you know, it's, the waves are a lot closer. It's week. Or like if you think of like a pop musician, it's albums. So they spend, you know, like a year recording and writing and pouring everything into this album. Then they spend the next year, you know, touring and performing, releasing singles and videos and all of that. And then once that's done, you know, they're spent because they've given their everything to that art, to the music, to that creativity. You know, they've given blood, sweat, tears, and then you know, they've worked through those emotions, or maybe they have, maybe they haven't, maybe they need to explore them some more. So then they have, you know, some time of introspection, and then the process begins again. And it's always a process that begins with a lot of self-doubt, like all art, whether it's writing, whether it's poetry, whether it's short stories, whether it's fiction, whether it's any type of writing, whether it's art, whether it's music, whether it's dance. There's always going to be times of questioning. You know, why am I? What am I? How can I? Is this necessary? Will people like this? Won't people like this? And, you know, it's that constant putting yourself out there to be ridiculed, because it happens. I mean, it happens here every day for me. You know, I get thumbs down. I get people saying, you know, negative, silly, you know, things about me. It happens with music, you know. I always say with a musician, you're confronted every single day with the thing you can't do right. You know, when you're learning a new piece, when you're performing it, you know, you're constantly confronted. You know, I'm learning a concerto for next season. I don't know if it'll happen. It's by one of my favorite composers, Takemitsu. I worked on it probably 6 or 7 years ago, and I've pulled it back out. And, you know, I was like, oh, that seemed so easy back then. And I'm like, no, actually, it wasn't that easy back then. I was just doing it every day, and doing it every day, just showing up, putting in the work, and seeing what happens. You know, letting that, oh, I think we have a new dog in the apartment. I heard a bark or a howl. I think one of my new neighbors has a dog. Yeah. So, you know, putting in that daily work is something that we, you know, really need to do as artists, as musicians, as journalers, as planners, as people. Just, you know, making sure we show up. So there we are. That's kind of my thoughts. Make sure you show up. Whatever you're doing, show up. So there we are. If you have any questions, you know, please pop them in the comment boxes down below, and I will get back with you as soon as I can. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.